A ver. Did we get that? No, it's too close. Too close. Ahí. Y que no se mueva. Y que no se mueva. Chicos! Who's there that I can recognize? ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Quién está allí? Hola, hola. Hola, hola, hola. Hola, hola. Señores. Pero bueno, Stacy. ¿Cómo estás, Stacy? ¿Qué tal todo? Vi, ¿qué te cuentas? ¿Cómo estáis, chicos? Hoy toca A1, que tengo que recuperar el lunes, que no dimos clase. Así que hoy tenemos clase de A1, pero yo creo que hasta los de A2 vais a apreciar esto, porque ya empezaste ahora mismo. Ahora mismito. She's special. Right now. How's everybody doing? ¿Qué tal estáis, chicos? ¿Todos bien? Hace frío en Florida. Hace 60 grados. Por fin ha llegado el invierno. Por fin. ¿Cómo estáis, chicos? ¿Qué os contáis? ¿Qué tal vuestro martes? How's your Tuesday going? Marimar, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal todo? Anthony, gracias por el follow, bienvenido. So, chicos, hoy tengo una clase que es A1, pero hasta los de A2, incluso algunos de B1 vais a apreciar lo que voy a hacer hoy. Porque vamos a usar algo muy fácil, que son infinitivos. Y digo, Javi, infinitivos, por favor, si yo soy un experto del idioma, ¿cómo que infinitivos? Yo ya me sé todos los infinitivos, ya, pero infinitivos con preposiciones, saber qué preposición usar con un infinitivo u otro, eso es más complicado. Así que we're going to talk about how to use infinitives with prepositions. Okay? I'll switch to English because I've been speaking in Spanish this whole time. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? No escuché, profe. Infinitivos con preposiciones, usando los infinitivos como sustantivos. Podría estar mejor, pero no tenía que enseñar hoy, entonces no todo mal. Ah, me alegro, Stacy. Así que el no tener que trabajar te ha subido un poco los ánimos, ¿no? Porque estabas un poco regular. Al parecer, por ejemplo, no. Sería como... A ver, te digo. Yo qué sé, caminar. Caminar es bueno para la salud, ¿no? ¿Vale? Pero luego te voy a enseñar una con preposición. Estamos usando los infinitivos como sustantivos. Sería como decir, por ejemplo, aprender a escribir es bueno para todos. Aprender a escribir es bueno. Aprender a, pero arrepentirse de, ¿no? O, por ejemplo, soñar con. Entonces vamos a usar todas las preposiciones y luego vamos a especificar. Oh, what happened? Amara, damn, I almost missed the whole class. I'm present now. You didn't miss the whole class. We just started. Amara, we just started. You're right. You're one of the first people in. One of the first 15. Let's see if we can get to 50 so we can start. Ramón, ¿qué te cuentas? ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Okay, so the first part is just el infinitivo y cómo se usa, ¿ok? Y luego vamos a añadir las preposiciones. So, Look at this. We have infinitivos como sujetos. That means infinitives as subjects. Infinitives as subjects. Okay? Felipe, ¿cómo estás? How you doing, man? Welcome in everybody. We're at 35, let's see if we can hit 50 and get started. By the way, guys, I was able to, pude por fin colgar el directo, the live, on the tutube. On the tutube. So if you want to see the other live from Sunday, it's on tutube. Okay, you can go on my bio and hit the link tree and you'll see, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's in the link tree. Okay? So remember, these lives will be on the tutube. Superfly, what's happening, man? How you doing? Hope you're feeling better, man. Y Kamal, muchas gracias por el follow y bienvenido. Alright, are we ready? ¡Menita! ¡Menita, pero cuánto amor! ¡Cuánto amor! Menita, qué sorpresa. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal todo? Acabo de empezar el directo. Llevo una rutina que no puedo con ella. La verdad, no puedo con ella, Menita. Dile a mi hermano que un día de estos tendremos que hablar porque yo ya no puedo más. Díselo de mi parte. Daphne, ¿cómo estás? Muchas gracias, Menita, por el corazón. Muchísimas gracias. I'm so ready to start, teacher. Me too. We are ready to go because we are at 53. Vamos a empezar. Here we go, guys. I want your notebooks ready, okay? Notebooks ready. Entonces, what is an infinitive, guys? Who can tell me what an infinitive is? A ver. What is un infinitivo? Infinitive. Let's get started. Remember, guys, if you could tap on that screen while you're thinking, it means the world to me. It brings the live out to everybody, and it helps me out tremendously. More than you can imagine, so please tap if you can. It's words that you can conjugate. It's a non-conjugated verb. I like both of those descriptions. Most basic form of the verb. There's no subject attached. Exactly. So we could say it is the conjugated version of a verb, right? And what type of endings do we have? How many endings do we have for unconjugated verbs? Who knows? We know this. Come on, guys. We know this. 3. Mi libre. And John says 3. Absolutely. 3. IR, ER, AR. Exactly, Willis. Exactly. So we have AR, ER, and IR. Okay? These are the 3 types of endings that we have for infinitives. Right? You got it, Joseph. You got it. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. All right. So, here we go. Did you know that we can use infinitives as nouns? We can use infinitives as nouns. And this would be the equivalent to, in English, we use gerunds. What are gerunds? Gerunds are what we use with estar in Spanish. For instance, estoy corriendo. But we're not going to use that in Spanish. We're going to use the infinitives, okay? In English, it would be the equivalent of saying, eating is good for you. What's the thing that is doing the action in this sentence? What is the subject? What is the main noun? What is the main noun in that English sentence? Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Eating. But wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Are you telling me that a noun can be a verb? What is happening here? Yes. Yes, a noun can be a verb. It's the eating. Yes. Yes. So eating is the subject and is the noun. Okay? How do we say this in Spanish? We do not say comiendo. We say instead comer es bueno para ti. Okay? Comer es bueno para ti. Notice once again, exactly, Fan, exactly. So, notice that we're using the infinitive. So, any times that we want to use a noun as a verb as a noun, I should say, make sure you use the infinitive in Spanish, not the gerund. Because what is the gerund in Spanish? Who knows the gerund of eating? How would we translate that? If we literally were to translate it and do it incorrectly, we would write what? Not eating, comiendo, right? And that would be incorrect, okay? So make sure that whenever you're using eating as the subject, as the noun of the sentence, you have to use comer, not comiendo, okay? So that's very important for you to remember because we have a natural tendency to think in English, literally translate into Spanish, and you're stuck with comiendo es bueno para ti, and it's going to be weird. We're going to go, comiendo, comer, right? Comer. Okay, step 1 complete, right? Understood? Let's go to step 2. What if we want to describe eating as being good? I said bueno. Is that correct? Should I have said bueno? Why not buena? What gender? Why ti and not tu? Oh, okay. Nayum, that's a good question. Let me briefly go on the tu and the ti thing. This, my friend, is called a preposition. And any object after prepositions require a change. We don't say tu, we say ti. We don't say yo, we say me. So, if I say from you to me, how would we say that in Spanish? From is a preposition. To is a preposition. How would we say from you to me? Piedad, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the family, amigo. How do we say from you to me? De tu, okay, what did I say though? Remember, we do not use tu after prepositions. So, de ti a mi. De ti a mi. Right, you got it, guys. De ti a mi. Brayden, how you doing? Good job, 4-6. Excellent. Yes, it could be para mí. It could be para mí. You could also say a mí. Right? It depends if it's I'm the recipient or there's two ways of saying para. You could say para or a. Okay? Both are okay. Now, the moral of the story here is this. Right? I want you guys to remember that. And I want you guys to remember this. Now, for every single other object of preposition, guess what you're going to do? You're going to use your regular subject pronoun. So the what? The él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. But yo turns to me, tú turns to ti. Okay? So far so good? Whoever asked that, are you good now? Do you understand? So prepositions, from and to, de and a, or para, force us to change those. Those are called objects of prepositions. Alright, let's go back to the stuff that we were doing. Next, what we were talking about this right here. Why is it bueno? What is the gender of comer? Is it masculine or feminine? Let's do more. I almost understand. Okay, we'll do some examples with prepositions because we're going to use a lot of them. So I'll make sure to include some objects of prepositions, okay? Sí, porque no hay neuter en español, por eso se usa el masculino. Right, Stacy, exactly. So we always need to use, whenever you're using a verb, you must use the masculine singular to describe it. So what I'm describing, yes, if you don't know, typically use what? The singular masculine. It's always singular masculine when you don't know, right? Think about people. Imagine if we're talking about kids in general. What do we lean towards always? Masculine, right? Masculine plural. So masculine's always dominant when we are unknown about the gender of things. Okay? I didn't know that. Interesting? That's how it is, Goober. So, when it comes to a verb, obviously it's genderless. So what are we going to do? We're going to make it masculine and singular. Alrighty? Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome. Thank you so much. Alright, here we go. So remember, if we're describing verbs, we're going to make it masculine. You know that we could also have verbs as objects. What do I mean verbs as objects? Thank you. Sweetie, thank you for the rose. Appreciate it. So, what do we mean by verbs as objects? We know that they can be subjects because they're the ones doing the good, that is good. But we can also have them as objects. And objects are the recipients of verbs, right? So, let me see. How about this? Oh, let me show you the difference between a subject and an object. That's going to help you guys out. So, what does this mean? Or actually, before I write it in Spanish, let me write it in English. Careful, guys, because in English, it looks like the dancing is the recipient of my liking, right? The dancing is the recipient of my liking. But in Spanish, we flip the tortilla and we do the opposite. We say dancing is pleasing to me. How do we say this now? How do we say dancing is pleasing to me? Amara says, me gusta bailar. So she's saying, she's going like this, right? She's going from right to left. And she goes, well, that to me is a me. And then the pleasing is, the dancing is doing the pleasing. So gusta, which is it. Dancing is an it. And then we know that if we've conjugated a verb, the next one needs to be left in the infinitive. And you already know that this should be the infinitive. Why? Because it's the gerund in English. Just like I taught you a minute ago. Right. So this is an example of the subject. Because even though, like Stacy said, because even though we're saying I like to dance, in Spanish the dancing is still doing the pleasing to me. So dancing is doing pleasing to me. This is an example of subject, even though it's a kind of a complicated one, right? Because we're flipping it around. Do you guys understand? This gustar is a very complicated verb. Who understands? Who's a little iffy about it? Do you guys need to practice more gustar? If you need to practice it, we can practice it. Iffy? Yeah, I know. Gustar is a little iffy. I'm iffy? Okay, you guys are iffy. So, was that correct? Jay, what's happening, man? I just saw you. I didn't see your last message. Can you rewrite it? Or can Mod pin it for me? Hey, Michaela, how are you? I missed you yesterday. Thank you. Everything's fine. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everybody that reached out. It means a lot. Thank you. Everything's fine, luckily. Okay, so let's do some others. I don't want to spend too much time on gustar because gustar is a little more advanced than A1. I mean, it is A1, but it's complicated, right? So let's do, we like to sing. Okay, once you have the English, we like to sing, you need to flip it. Flip the tortilla around. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you. I appreciate that, the heart me. And coma. Is it coma? Comal. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Alright, so look, we like to sing is what? Singing is pleasing to who? Is pleasing to who, guys? Who knows? Me alegro, comal. To us, exactly, Bambi. Welcome in, Bambi. To us, exactly. So, to us. Okay, now let's go from here this way. So, to us, how do we say to us, guys, in Spanish? Who knows? It's not para nosotros, it's a short word. It kind of looks like us, but with an N on it. I'm following along now? Awesome. Who did you need pinned? Don't worry about it, Stacy. He said he's okay. Nos, right. It's nos, guys. So we're going to start with the nos. Now, who's doing the pleasing? Who's doing the pleasing in this sentence? Thank you for the follow. Alright, close. The singing. And what is singing? If we had to give it a pronoun, would it be a he? Would it be a she? Would it be an it? Would it be an us? Y'all? What would it be? It's an it, right? It's a he or an it. I mean, it doesn't have a gender because it's an action, so we have to call it an it. So how do you conjugate gustar in the it form? Who knows how to conjugate gustar in the it form? Gusta. Exactly. So careful, guys. As English speakers, we're going to be very tempted to say we like. And we're going to say what erroneously? What are we going to say accidentally? Automatically, we're going to go gus. Thank you for the heart me. Gustamos. And if we say gustamos, we are not gustamos. We are doing something very not gustar. Because we're saying we like in English, which is it is liked by us in Spanish. So you have to remember to say nos gusta. It's the it that is being pleasing. So nos gustan, how do we say to sing? Don't say bailando. What are we going to use? We're going to use infinitives. So how do you say to dance? Is it cantar? Oh yeah, it is cantar. I'm sorry. It is cantar. Sorry, I was still on the dancing. Nos gusta cantar. Cantar. Okay? So far, so good? Is it a little bit better now? Remember, we're going from left to right, and we're recognizing that it's the pleasing is being done by the singing. Yes? Nancy, thank you for the follow. Gracias, sweetie. Thank you for reminding people. Yeah, always go from right to left. So you go from right to left, you start with the us, and then you go, okay, the singing is doing the pleasing, so now I'm going to do the pleasing, and then it's going to be the singing at the end. But you have to realize that it's the singing that is doing the pleasing to us. Alright? Now, let's go back to where we were, because there's two ways. Okay, go ahead and take a screenshot. Sorry, I erased that, guys. Take a screenshot for me. Because now we're going to learn a lot of new stuff. Mark, thank you for the follow. Welcome. And Toluca Babe, thank you for the follow. Alrighty, ready to go? Let's do it, guys. Here we go. This is going to be fun. Okay, so what is the subject of the sentence, guys? Who knows? In terms of grammar, does the subject do the action or does the object do the action? Yes, one of them is. Griffin, is it? Griffin, one of them is. And I will put this one also on there. Oh, we got a cap. Wow, that was a big one. Sweetie, thank you for the cap. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, who does the action? So we have, who does the action? Is it the subject or the object? Who does it? The subject. Subject. Am I getting more subjects than objects? Let's see. Subject usually. Subject does the action. You got it, guys. So, remember. Here, me gusta bailar. What is bailar in this sentence? The subject or the object? I'm too old, I've forgotten my English classes. The dancing is doing the what? The pleasing to whom? Right. See, Joseph, it feels like it should be the object, right? Because you think that this me is a yo, and you think that this gusta is like. I like dancing. But that's not what we're saying in Spanish. Veronica, careful. We are saying I like dancing, but grammatically speaking, we're saying dancing is pleasing to me. Dancing is pleasing to me. So who's doing the action? Whoa! You see? It's backwards. Exactly, Joseph. Exactly. So what is the subject? Right. So the dancing is being done in my benefit. So who is really the subject here? The dancing. So this is an example of using an infinitive as a subject. Let me give you an easier example. Let me give you an easier example that makes a lot more sense, okay? Reading helps, helps people. Reading helps people. Short and simple. Who's doing, what is the subject? Is it the people? Is it the reading? Is it the helps? What's the subject of the sentence? What is doing the action? Reading, says Bella. Anybody want to second that? Essen says reading. Jay says reading. Reading is the subject. Right, because it's doing the helping, right? So, reading is what in Spanish? Do not say leyendo for the life of you guys. Do not say leyendo. What is reading? Read this. Read this. What is reading? Leer. There you go. There you go. That's the mindset, guys. I want you to think infinitive, not gerund. Excellent. So we're going to say leer. And what is leer? Is it a yo? Is it a tú? Is it an it? Is it a nosotros o vosotros? What is it? If we had to give it a yes, it's an it. How do you conjugate ayudar, which means to help? Ayudar. How do you conjugate ayudar in the it form? Essen says ayuda. Bambi says ayuda. 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 It sounds like I'm asking for help. Right. Leer ayuda. And how do we say people? And careful, don't jump the pew pew here. Don't jump the pew pew, think about it. Okay, I have gente. Am I missing anything? Yes, it could be gente. It could be gente. Let me put gente over here. Don't jump the pew pew. What's the article? You could also say personas, absolutely. Right, it's la gente. And look at what Bambi wrote. Look at what Bambi wrote. La. Are we doing an action to human beings, guys? Are we doing an action to human beings? If the answer to that is yes, what are we going to use? What Essence just wrote. Yes. So, the reading is doing helping to human beings, and anytime we do an action to human beings or domesticated animals, we must put the personal A. The personal A is called personal A because it is towards people. That's why you do the A. Exactly. Anytime you do an action to people, put the A. Okay? Yo llamo a mi amigo. I call a my friend. Yeah, I know. A lot of people just say it because we know to say it, but that's the reason, right? Because we have a person that is receiving the action. I call my friend. Llamo a mi amigo. All right? Okay, so we are using bailar as the subject and it is pleasing to me. Or reading helps people. Reading, once again, is what? The subject. It's doing the action. So this one and this one are the same thing. This one's funky because it's backwards, right? But this one's kind of normal, right? Pero con las mascotas eso no pasa, ¿sí? Sí. Con mascotas, we also use it for pets. So for instance, my dog was named Curro. He passed away a long time ago. So I would say, voy a dar de comer a Curro. I'm going to give Curro to eat, we say. Voy a dar de comer, or let me give you a better example. Voy a por Curro. I'm going for my dog. I'm going to pick up my dog. Okay? So yes. Lo siento mucho. What happened? Why are you sorry? No tienes que sentir nada. No te preocupes. Pero el tigre, okay, depends. It depends. It's very, what's the word? It's very contextual. I'll give you an example. I used to ride horses for like about a year. Don't think I rode too long. But I used to ride horses as a kid. Do you think that my horse was a personal A to me? Or was it like a dog? Or was it just an animal? What do you think? Would you consider my horse that I used to ride, that I used to care for, that I used to clean, would that be a personal A for me? Because it felt humanistic? Exactly, Jay. Exactly. Not just an animal. It wasn't an animal to me, right? So, what if you come along one day and I show you my horse and you say, oh, it's a horse, it's an animal. Would it be a personal A to you? My horse? No. So if I ask you, ¿puedes traer a mi caballo? I'm going to use the a. But if you ask me to bring the horse, ¿puedes traer el caballo? No a necessary. You see? So it's really contextualized, depending on your feeling towards that animal. That's the personal A. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. Interesting. Exacto, Marimar. Yes. All right. Todo claro, profe. Awesome. Okay, so we just did subject. Let's get to the object part. Okay? All right, take a screenshot, guys. I'm going to erase the whole thing. While you do that, thank you for the follows, guys. Trenia and Stevie, thank you so much. And Carlos, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Relay. I think I'm not saying that right, but thank you so much. All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna do objects now using our infinitives. Here we go. Objects that are infinitives. Don't you love the squeakiness? Hope it doesn't disturb your ears, guys. Thank you for the follows, Elise and Nicole. Thank you for that share. And Yurman. Thank you. All right, let's do an example here. A ver. Okay, how about this one? I want to talk to you. Let's think about this. I want. What's the subject of the sentence? What can I put into ChatGPT where it will help me with this? Create sentences? You could use infinitives as nouns. Use infinitives as nouns. Come up with sentences that use infinitives as nouns. I is the subject. Right. Quiero is the verb the subject is doing. So, deci. So, I is the subject. I is doing the action. What is the subject doing? Wanting, right? And who is the recipient of this? Don't say to me, because this is a preposition. And prepositions act as barriers, usually. What is receiving the wanting? Don't say you. Nope. As an extension, yes. But what is the object? To talk. There it is. I want an object called to talk. So now we're using infinitives as objects. This shouldn't be very difficult for you guys because we learned this like on day 1 where we have two verbs next to each other. One's left conjugated and the second one is left in the infinitive form, right? You guys, does that ring a bell? Do you guys remember that? Right. Quiero hablar contigo. Yes. Right. Exactly. So remember, quiero hablar contigo. Remember, contigo is a weird object of preposition because, look, so I want is quiero. We know it's quiero because querer means to want. And what type of verb is it? It's an E to IE stem changer. Meaning what? That not only are we going to change the end of a verb, we're also going to change the stem. That middle part that never changes needs to change. So, this is the part that always changes. This part usually doesn't. But with querer it does because it's an E to IE. So we say quiero. Right? Quiero. Hablar contigo. Good job. Now notice, this is what we're doing today. We're using an infinitive as what? We're using an infinitive as an object. Because they're receiving what? De querer. Right? Qué bueno que es español. Porque es complicado, ¿verdad? If you want to call me because I want, if you want to call me, please, because I want to talk to you. Si quieres llamarme, if you want to call me. It would be, you would have to say call me. You would have to do the command. Y eso es llámame, porque quiero hablar contigo, right? We would do a command. I don't want to write the command because it's going to confuse the heck out of you guys. All right, don't worry about the commands yet. Just focus on this, okay? Now, with the preposition con, we do something funky when it's with me, right? If this is you, let's say, right? You could do you or I, and then here you could put the you or the me, right? What do you notice? After prepositions in English, we say me. We don't say I. Just like Spanish. We don't say yo, we say me. But with con, we do something funky, and I'm going to explain the origin to you, which you guys are going to love, okay? Which is contigo or conmigo, right? Conmigo. So why the heck are we saying the go? Because how do you say for you? Like you're the recipient. And how do you say for me? How do you say that in Spanish? Who knows? For you or for me? We're going to use para. Para ti. Very good. Para mí. So where did the go go? Where did the go? Go. See what I did there? Where did it go? Why don't we say para tigo? Para amigo. What's the purpose? Are you ready? So, let's go back in time. The Romans come to the Iberian Peninsula and they force everybody to speak Roman, Latin, right? Also known as Latin. And they go, okay, people, when you have a preposition, you need to say me or whatever it was. Stacy would know better than I. But whatever the equivalent to me and ti were, it would probably be meant like me and te or something like that, right? It would be harder sounding than in Spanish. So we learned that, and then some brilliant person said, so are we supposed to say me? What about I? Why don't I say I? And I in Latin was, are you ready? So imagine this. It was bed, right? This is Latin. Remember, guys, this is Latin, not Spanish. Okay? It was something like per, and then I guess it would be me or some version of that. And some brilliant person said, wait, what about I? Isn't I ego? And he goes, yeah, you're right. I is ego. So why are we saying me? I don't know. But they told us to say me. And they go, I don't know. Let's use I instead of me. And this was con. I'm sorry. This is con. It only happened with con. So we said me and ego. And throughout time, it became con mego. And that turned into an I, conmigo. So we got so confused learning Latin that we said, should I use me or should I use I? And somebody said, let's just combine both. We'll always be right. We'll always be right if we combine both. And that's what happened. And it only happened with con. Okay? That is why we say conmigo and contigo. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. No, that's how languages are formed, guys. Through the misuse of the language. Remember one thing. Before written language, everything was spoken. So if somebody said something incorrectly and taught the rest of society, we all started saying things incorrectly. And that is how we now have 5 different Romance languages out of one single Latin language. Isn't that incredible? We all spoke it incorrectly enough that we changed it. We changed the grammar. One second. I didn't know that ego in Latin was I. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. We still use it in English, right? My ego is hurt. My self version of I is hurt. Okay? All right, let's continue. That's the origin of conmigo and contigo. Okay, so now we've learned that we can use infinitives both as subjects and as objects, right? All right, let's continue. C1, I guess? What's up? What's up with C1? This is easier than you guys think. We've just been going into prepositions a lot. But you'll see that it's all very, very simple. Alrighty, so after a preposition, look at this. Sometimes, how do we say sometimes, guys? We speak without thinking. A veces, right, a veces, exactly. Contigo is with you. Conmigo is with me. You got it. You got it, Cami. Good job. A veces hablamos sin pensando. Oh, you fell for my trap, Alexis. Look at this. A veces is sometimes. A is like, I wish. This is 2 times, like to the times, a veces. But it means sometimes in Spanish. Okay? In English. We speak. How do we say we speak? Hablamos. Yes, Andrea. Perfect. You don't need to put the nosotros, because hablamos can only mean nosotros, right? So, hablamos is only in the we form. How do we say without? Sin. And now look what happens. Anytime you have a preposition, you must leave. And this is a very important rule, guys. This is a hobby rule. If you look at my post, you'll find this rule. Verbs after prepositions like sin are always left in the infinitive form. Pensar. Because what is thinking in this sentence, guys? What is it? It's an object of preposition. And what's an object? Usually an object is what? A noun. We're treating thinking not as a verb here. We're treating it as a noun. And you and I both know after this lesson that every time we have a verb that we're treating as a noun, we're going to use the infinitive form. You got it? Anytime we use verbs as nouns, we use the infinitive form. So don't put ando, don't put yendo, just because we have this ing that is confusing the heck out of us. Okay? A veces hablamos sin pensar. What's the verdict, guys? What's the verdict so far? 2 thumbs up? Alexis, I want to hear that. That's awesome. Good. Okay? And just like sin, you have a, you have con, bueno. Good. 1 second. Let's see. Somebody said something. I've been speaking wrong for years. Well, today, you start a new phase in your life, Alexis. A new phase. Super helpful. You're welcome, Kat. You're welcome. All right? Remember, thinking in this sentence, think about it. I could say sometimes, if I say sometimes we eat without utensils, right? Sometimes we eat without utensils. Let's say pizza, right? We use our hands. A lot of love to Nepal. Right back to you. That's a country I would love to visit. I would love to visit Nepal. I don't know if I could deal with the altitude though. You guys, woof, I don't know how you do it. Okay, so what is utensils, guys? Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? What are utensils? Sometimes we eat without utensils. It is a noun, right? So, if that's a noun, this, my fellow friends, is also a noun. If that's a noun, this is a noun as well. You see? So you can always replace things and think, wait, I know that's a verb, but are we using it as a noun? Let me replace it with something else. And if I can replace it with a noun, and it would make sense to use without and a noun, then I know I'm using it as a noun. Okay? You got it, guys? Make sense? Let's keep going. Alrighty. Sometimes we speak. Sometimes we, yeah. Luckily, we speak without utensils. Can you imagine? That would be hectic. When we use nouns as verbs, we just add AR. Bate, batear. Google, googlear. Yeah, you can, exactly. We're not really... Batear. Te toca batear. Yeah, that's a good rule. Stacy, I love that. I love that rule. Please, DM me. Love that rule. Okay. Let's see. Okay, sometimes the subject of the infinitive that is doing the subject might be, the subject that's doing an infinitive might be different from another one. If that's the case, we need to include the subject pronouns with them. And that's a very easy thing. You guys already know that. But look at this. I'll give you an example. So, I get dressed. Remember, this is reflexive, guys. I get dressed before. Before. What is before? Antes de. And what do we put after a preposition? Eating. Look at this. Eating breakfast. Right? Are you noticing this now, guys? Are you noticing all these gerunds that we're putting? That before we would go automatically to the gerunds? Me visto antes de desayunar. Exactly. I get dressed antes de. You have to say the de, which makes it a preposition. And guess what happens? We have the ing, and we have a whole infinitive for eating breakfast, which is called desayunar. Desayunar. You see? So we're going to say me visto, which is to get dressed, antes de desayunar. Notice that we have a preposition, so we're leaving the verb in the infinitive form. Okay? Why don't I put another yo here? Why am I only putting a me? Why? I know that it's reflexive, but I could have put a yo me visto here easily. Okay? This is still grammatically correct. So, if I put yo me visto antes de, why don't I put yo desayunar? Mismo sujeto, Marimar. Exactly. Anytime you have the same subject as the beginning of your sentence, there is no need to tell me who's doing the eating breakfast. Obviously, if you're doing the getting dressed before something else, you're still doing the something else. You don't need to mention it. I already know that you're doing it because you already put it at the beginning. Same subject. Now what happens if we have different subjects? Let's see. For example, oh my God, that's a horrible example. What a bad sentence. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. That's a horrible sentence. I hate that sentence. All right. So now we're going to do two different subjects with an infinitive. For instance, she eats dinner before before her parents arrive. Okay. You know that before. Wait a second, guys. I have TikTok here being TikTok-y. In a good way. Because we all love the TikTok shop, as we all know. We all love the TikTok shop. Okay, so she eats dinner before her parents arrive. We have two actions and we have two separate subjects, right? And Daniel, complicado para mí pronunciar tu nombre, Daniel, pero muchísimas gracias por el share. Thank you so much for those shares. Ella cena antes de que sus padres lleguen. Okay, if you put a que, you have to go into the subjunctive. I don't want you guys to put the que. I want you guys to use the infinitives. Okay, don't put a que because that's like a B1 level stuff or a high A2 level. Sara in Spain. Sara, what part of Spain are you in? I'm from Madrid. Ella come la cena antes del padres llegaron. Okay, guys, antes de, give me the infinitive and then give me the subject at the end. Give me the infinitive after the preposition. Marbella, what a beautiful place. My parents and I, when I'm talking about little Javi here, when I was 5 years old, we used to go to Puerto Banús in Marbella in the springtime. So we loved Puerto Banús. It was beautiful. I'm talking back in the 90s and late 80s. Learning Spanish, but it's so difficult. I know. In Andalusia, you have a what's it called? A learning curve because the accent's even more difficult. And then they have their own way of speaking, their own accent. Okay, so look at this. She eats. Ella come. But since she's eating dinner, we're gonna say cena. Okay? Ella cena before. Antes de. What happens to verbs after prepositions, guys? Yeah, that's correct, but I don't want you guys to use a que. Forget about the que. Very good, John. Very good. Antes de llegar. And you don't need the a because the parents are doing the arrival. The parents are doing the arrival. It's not happening to the parents. The parents are doing it. So, llegar sus padres. So what are we doing? Using an infinitive. Guys, this is so much easier than using a que. A que forces you to be hypothetical about something, and when we're hypothetical about something, we need to use the subjunctive, and if you want to use the subjunctive, you need to go into this twilight zone of conjugations. Why not avoid it? This is A1. Avoid it. Llegar. You're done. Llegar. You don't even have to think about it. Okay? I'm learning the subjunctive. It's crazy. I know. I call the subjunctive the twilight zone. Alright. Claro, así evitas. A ver, Marimar, seguro que tú lo dices perfecto. Pero así lo evitas directamente. See, if you put it right after, and you have different subjects, use the infinitive. Makes your life easy. You don't even have to think about it. I'm new here, but late. Oh, I'm here. You're not new here, am I? Know you. I know you. I wish I would have paid attention to grammar as a kid. Don't worry. I try to explain it in a very easy way so that you don't even have to remember your grammar, because I'll explain it. Why aren't you using comer to say she's eating dinner? Because we have a verb. We have a verb called cenar. Cenar means to have dinner. And then we have desayunar. Desayunar means to have breakfast. Jesus. 1 second. Do you usually go live? I usually do, yeah, every day. You can find my calendar pinned on my profile. Okay? There are going to be some slight deviations from that because I need to organize my group classes that I have. By the way, guys, November 15th is around the corner. If you guys want to sign up to group classes, DM me and I will send your information, okay? You're great at this. Thank you, John. I really appreciate comments like that, honestly. So, desayunar is to have breakfast. So these are all very good verbs for you to know because you can avoid using nouns, right? To have breakfast is all one verb. You don't have to say comer el desayuno. You can just say desayunar. Okay? Alright, so we've done it now where we have two subjects. We have sus padres as being one. We have ella as being another. We also did one where she was doing both. Okay? Almorzar. Yes, almorzar is to have lunch in Latin America. Almorzar. To have lunch. In Spain, we would just use, believe it or not, we use the verb comer. So comer does mean to eat in Spain, but depending on the context, it can mean to have lunch. ¿Ok? Esta es la segunda vez que el mundo que ya sabía... Espera. Esta es la segunda vez que el mundo que ya sabía no es lo mismo... ¿Perdone usted? No he entendido. Mira que lo he intentado leer 2 veces, pero no lo he entendido. Alright, here we go, guys. So almorzar is not necessary in Spain. Almorzar means a different thing. But almorzar in Spain means to have an in-between snack. So imagine it's not a brunch. People think it's brunch. No. It's much less than brunch. It's a snack. It's between the breakfast and lunch. Remember, we eat lunch really late. And we eat breakfast relatively late too. We eat breakfast around 8:30. Okay? So between breakfast and lunch are 4 hours. 4 hours? No. 6 hours, okay? Usually it would be like 2 o'clock, 2:30, so it's super late lunch. So what do if we're hungry? We have an almuerzo. ¿Almorzamos algo? Oye, tengo un hambre, no puedo esperar hasta las 2. ¿Almorzamos algo? Should we have a little snack? Oh, sí, exacto. Ya que es súper útil eso, Marimar. Es súper útil, ¿verdad? No sabía que pudiéramos usar infinitivo con diferentes sujetos. Siempre se puede y te hace la vida mucho más fácil. Alright, let's keep going, guys. Take a screenshot. I'm gonna erase. Alright, guys, we have an hour left and we're only at 24. Let's try to get those likes back up. Let's try to get to 60. That's today's goal. 60. I know we can do it. We're a little bit under halfway. And we are about halfway through the class. So come on, let's bring it a little bit up. We can do it. I don't expect a record break here with the 167. That was a crazy day. But let's get to 60. Thank you, guys. A ver. Next. Oh, I love this. Detrás del verbo ser. Okay, so to emphasize. Actions. We use this a lot. With se. So here, guys, we need to know how to conjugate se. Usually, we're going to use... one second. Usually we're going to use es. Yeah, it's always es, usually. Okay, so you're just going to have to memorize es. Okay? So, now, that's singing. Now, that's singing. What do we mean by that? Imagine we're watching The Voice, right? And we hear somebody sing like the angels. And we go, wow, that's singing. What do we mean by that singing? How are we going to say that in Spanish? believe it or not, this that's is really that is, right? And if that is, we have two verbs, don't we? Who knows? No cigar? Nothing? Nobody? Everybody stumped? Come on. At least an attempt. Give me an attempt. Ahora está cantando. Okay. Eso es cantar. Ahora eso es cantar. Ahora eso es cantar. Wait a second. You guys are saying eso? Yes. So, ahora. We wouldn't say, now that's singing, we wouldn't say ahora. So we would get rid of that in Spanish altogether because it's not really said. It's not like the English. But we would just say, eso es cantar, is what I saw, right? All you guys wrote, eso es cantar. If you want to say the now, which adds more emphasis, what do you think we write in Spanish? I don't expect you guys to know this. If we want to do the now that's singing, that would be eso sí que es cantar. That's us putting extra stress on it, okay? Eso sí que es cantar. Yeah, we don't use now. We don't use now like in English, okay? We use now for emphasis. In English, in Spanish, we use sí. We use yes. That yes, that is singing. That yes, that is singing. Now, quick question for you guys. Why eso? Cantar is masculine? This is a trick question, by the way. Cantar is masculine? Why are we saying eso? It's neutral, Javi. What? I thought O was masculine. Why is it neutral? Because, unfortunately for us Spanish learners, eso, esto, and aquello, all three demonstratives that end in an O are actually neutral. Well, that doesn't make much sense because I learned that O's are masculine, A's are feminine. Yes, you're absolutely right. But guess what? When it comes to demonstratives, E's. So, este, ese, and aquel, oh, Jesus, aquel are masculine. And then, what about the feminine? Esta, esa, and aquella are feminine. So, if we say eso, it's because we're referencing the gender neutral singing. You see? Ay, eso es cantar. Have mercy on us, profe. It's not me, it's the language. I didn't invent it. It wasn't my idea to mess you guys up like this. It was some Iberian back in the day that got it wrong and said, we'll stick with it. Wait, can you explain that again? You got it. So, we have, remember, guys, with demonstratives, what is a demonstrative? It's a funky grammar word. So, a demonstrative just means an adjective, okay? An adjective that is describing a noun based on proximity. Okay? So, when we're talking about nouns and we have a bottle, right? And it's really close to me, I would say this bottle, this bottle. If botella is feminine, we have to project that femininity, hope that's a word, that feminine quality to the bottle with the demonstrative. So we go esta botella, esta botella. What if that bottle is further away? Now it's by the phone. And I'm over here. It's not esta anymore, it's that bottle. That bottle is going to be esa botella. So remember, this and these both have T's. This and these both have T's. Este, esta, estos, estas. That and those, no T shows. That's the hobby rule. So you can look at the post that talks about demonstratives, but you also have to think not only about this and these both have T's, that and those, no T shows. You also have to think, wait a second, is the thing I'm pointing to masculine or feminine? Is it singular or plural? Because we have to project that into our demonstratives. Okay? Esa botellita. Esa botellita. You got it. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Alright, so that is why, because we have the eso, is because we're referencing a neutral thing called singing. Okay? I hope that makes a little more sense. And by the way, what is aquello? Aquello does not exist in English. Aquello is further away than that. So we have this over here, that over there, and that all the way over there in the other side of the room. Okay, we have 3 distances. Okay? You got it? Like that one. Right, we typically put over there just to emphasize that it's so far away that it's on the other side. So what's eso versus ese? Eso is gender neutral, ese is masculine. So whenever you want to reference something that has no gender, thank you so much for that, Rose, Meg. Thank you. And thank you for, what was that? Love you so much, right back at you. Right back at you, Meg. Thank you. So remember, eso, neutral, ese, masculine. Let me put a C here. All right, let's keep going. We sidetracked with the demonstratives. Ready? Take a screenshot, guys. I'm going to erase. How do you know that the action will always be gender neutral? There is no feminine or masculine action. They're always gender neutral. So you don't even have to think about it, Alexis. Okay? Way over there. Exactly. I like that, John. That's a good one. All right? Ready? Oh my goodness, guys. We are not doing well with those likes. We're at 28. There's only 45 minutes left in the class. Come on, guys. Let's pick up the pace. Let's get to 60. 60 is nothing. We got to 80 the other day. I think it's because you guys put it on overdrive. Honestly. But come on. 60. It's not that much. And it helps me out. And it's free. I mean, and you get a good, finger workout. Who doesn't want a finger workout? You know, you type a lot. You need to get those muscles working. So, pa 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 pa. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? All right, next. Taking notes and making dinner and tapping in between my gut. Em, you're doing it all. You are doing it all. Okay, next. So, guess what, guys? I have the best news for you that you have ever heard in your life. Are you ready? Who knows the imperative form in Spanish, Javi? Please, can you speak in English? Stop using these terms that we don't know. The imperative form just means the command form. The command form, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very tough conjugation in Spanish. So, I have good news. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the heart me, Meg. So, yes, siéntate. Right, that's an example of the imperative. So, if we have a sign that says pull, like to open up a door or something, right? We could say, tire. Or we could say, tira. Right? Or we could say, tiren on the sign. Because you're thinking that multiple people are going to pull on the door. Or, tiren ustedes. O tirar. Right? Tirar, vosotros. Holy moly, Javi, how are we going to remember these 4 forms? You don't have to. You don't have to. I have good news. Are you ready? Whenever you want to command somebody to do something, tirar. You just have to put the infinitive, guys. Infinitivo. And you can go, see you later, buddy. I don't need you. I don't need you. I can put the infinitive. So is that easy or what? Now, tirar is used. Why do you think we use tirar versus tire, tira, tiren, tirad? Why do we use tirar? Because it's more what? It's easier, yes, but we can infer all of these people. We don't have to specify. Right? Yeah, it's more inclusive. It's more adaptive. It depends on who's reading the sign. If I'm reading the sign and I see tirar, I'm going to think tire or tira because it's directed towards me. But if many people see the sign together, they're going to think tiren. Right, exactly, user. Exactly. We don't know who we're addressing. It's a sign. Okay? I know, Joseph. You're not the only one. We'll have a good A2 level class about the imperative, okay? We'll have a good A2 level. But this is another use of the infinitive. So why do we use it? We use it to command on signs. So it's great. It's great because when you want to command somebody in an email, right? What if we want to negate it? What if we say, don't enter? How do you say do not enter? Don't enter. You guys know this. Thank you for the heart me, Ati. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. No. There we go. There we go. Danae. Danae got it. No, guys, you're going to the commands. Avoid them. Avoid them. It's easier than that. Just say, no entrar. No entrar. There it is, mi libre. Easy peasy. See? Isn't that easy? All right, and the last way that we use the infinitive that I want to teach you guys is let's get studying. Notice again, guys, what is the common theme here? That in English we are using the gerund, when in Spanish we are going to use what? No entren. It wouldn't be se. You would just say no entren. If you want to use the imperative form, you would drop that se, John. But you're right, it would be entren. But I want you guys to think of entrar. Exactly, mi libre. We're using the infinitive. Excellent. Excellent. So, let's get studying would just be what? Let's get studying. Let's get rid of that. And let's just say to study. To study, people. How do we say to study? Easier than that. Get rid of the vamos. Get rid of the vamos, guys. You're doing a command. But don't get rid of the a. Don't get rid of the a. A estudiar. Chicos, people, kids, guys, people in general. Wrong way. A estudiar. A estudiar. No olviden la A. Muy bien, David, muy bien. ¿Sí? So, a estudiar. A comer. So, guess what? like I heard throughout my whole childhood when I was living with my parents, that they would say, Javi, Javi, a cenar, a cenar. What does that mean? Javi, a cenar. What does that mean? So a command just needs the infinitive. That's it. Because dinner time, right? Let's eat. To dinner. It means let's eat. A cenar. Come eat. Exactly. Javi, dinner. You got it. To dinner. To have dinner. A cenar. That's it, guys. You got it. I'm confused, but I'm just getting here. Don't worry, Melanie. We'll go over this again. Don't worry. Renee, how are you? All right, so we have 40 minutes. I think what I'm gonna do is the prepositions with infinitives. Let's do some examples though. Let's actually solidify this first, okay? Come eat now, Javi. Right. Exactly. Ga, how are you doing? ¿Cómo estás? All right, ready? Take a screenshot, guys. Wait, actually, let's do this. One second. Let me organize this a little bit more. So, let's get to dinner. It's like saying, dinner time. Dinner time. A cenar. Okay? Your accent's a little hard to understand with some words. It's just the TH. Remember, I have a th sound for the C and for the Z, paired up with different vowels. That's it. That's the only thing that changes. And maybe my S's are a little bit closed compared to the Latin American S. But it's good for you. Remember, new accents are better for you because it opens up your ears to all of the Spanish-speaking world, not just one specific accent. Okay? Thank you for the follows, guys. Vamos a cenar. So vamos a cenar is let's go have dinner. ¿Eres de España? Sí, de Madrid. Nací en Madrid, pero vivo en Florida, en los Estados Unidos. All right, let's do some practice, guys. Ready? Okie doke. Sentence number 1. So I'm going to give you a Spanish sentence, and you guys are going to have to transform the sentence using infinitives, okay? Ready? Careful. All right, what does that say, guys? La comida en exceso no es buena. La comida en exceso no es buena. Not leftovers. We're not talking about leftovers. I see what you were doing there. But we're saying the food in excess amount. Right. Too much food is not good. Okay, perfect. Now that we know the English, take this sentence and use an infinitive instead of the noun. Take this noun and use an infinitive. And remember what happens when we use infinitives and we have to describe them. Remember. All right, keep going, Bambi. Right, that's exactly what it says. Very good. Tyler, how are you, man? How you doing? All right, guys, let's see. I want the sentence in Spanish using an infinitive. Comer en exceso no es bueno. Bambi, you nailed it. All right, let's see. Why? Comida, that's a noun. Turn that comida into a verb for me, David. So, comer en exceso no es bueno. Why is it bueno now and not buena? I thought this was an A. Why are we putting it with an O? It's not once you realize it. Melanie, you got it. That's the O. See? Has to be neutral. Excellent, Meg. Excellent. Comida here is feminine, hence the A. But comer is neutral because it's a verb, hence the O. Porque es verbo. Absolutely, Joseph. Comer is neutral, Em. You got it. Comer is neutral because all actions are. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that share. Suman, muchas gracias. You got it, okay? Next one. Let's do another one. All right, let's see. How about this one? First, tell me what it means in English. All right, go ahead. I'm just turning on a light, guys, because it's getting way too dark. Actually, let me turn on the other lights. That's not the one I wanted. That's it. Much better. The job is necessary to live. Okay, el trabajo means work. This means work. Apaga la luz. No, tengo que encender la luz. Not a job, it's work. El trabajo. We would say work. Trabajar es necesario para vivir. Right. So, Adams, exactly what we're saying is work is necessary to live. Work is necessary to live. Good job, guys. So, let's change it. How do you change this noun? And it will mean the same thing. And you guys won't have to think too much about it. Let's do it. Trabajar. Trabajar, easy peasy. Easy peasy. So we just say, trabajar es ... Everything else is exactly the same. Trabajar es necesario para vivir. Trabajar es necesario para vivir. Good job. Excellent, guys. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okie doke. Let's try some harder stuff. Let's see. All right, finish up the thought, okay? Let's finish up the thought. Let's think, okay? Think a little bit for me. Here we go. I'm going to erase this. Go ahead and take a screenshot if you want to see it. I think this is important. I think you guys should have these examples. Take a screenshot. That way you know how to change nouns into other nouns, but infinitives being used as nouns. Those solitary hearts, those solitary hearts that go bloop, break my heart. They break my heart. Why is this useful? What do you mean, why is it useful? Because it's another way of speaking. It's another way of using the language. If you want to say that something is important, now you can use infinitives instead of nouns to communicate with millions of people. No, but I think she was referring to this in particular. It's just another way of communicating that is a lot easier. Yeah, you don't have to conjugate it because we are using verbs as nouns, mi libre. When we use verbs as nouns, we don't conjugate them. We use the infinitives. All right? Okay, now let's think outside the box here. I'm going to give you the first part of the sentence, and you guys are going to finish it up with a command. A command that is following what? The infinitives. I don't want to see any imperative forms. I don't want to see any command form. Well, we want to know everything and all the different ways. Exactly. Kind of simplifying it. Right. We're simplifying it. It's very useful because it's simplifying the language, right? Okay. So if I say, niños, es tarde. And I want to say after that, to bed. How are we going to say to bed? Kids. What does that say, by the way? I was about to tell you guys. To speak faster without thinking so much. Exactly, John. Okay, Melanie, but we're not going to be using the noun bed. We're going to be using the infinitive. Right. Kids, it's late. What infinitive is related to bed? That's a noun. I want you guys to use yes, David. Yes, Melanie, that's it. A dormir. A dormir. To bed, I said. To bed. So now all the moms and dads out there with little ones that want to be teaching them Spanish can now go, niños, a dormir. A dormir. You got it, exactly. See how easy it is to command people now? You guys don't have to think about the imperative form, which is impossible. You could just go, to the sleep. My kids will hear that tonight. So it doesn't matter if niño is singular or plural. Exactly, Alexis. See? It doesn't matter. Because it's generalizing if it's one kid, if it's many kids, if it's, it's everybody. It's all encompassing. Encompassing? Encompassing. I'm going to go with that. I command you to zip your mouth. A callar. A callar. A dormir y a callar. Which is to be quiet. Right? So, a dormir y a callar. You have to repeat the a after right. Exactly. It means to be quiet or to shut up. Alright? Okie dokie. Let's do one more, guys. And I need to cut it a bit short today because I need to eat dinner before my 2 group classes. Because I'm doubling up today because I missed yesterday's class. Let's see. Let's use a preposition. Okay. Oh God, these all use really hard conjugations. Okay. Let me change it a bit. They always leave. Oh God, look what I'm doing. Leave without, that's a preposition. Without finishing the job. They always leave without finishing the job. Children, it's late. To sleep. To sleep, I said. Exactly. Siempre se van sin terminar el trabajo. Exactly. Siempre venimos is to come. You're saying to leave. So it could be se van, or you could say se marchan, or salen. Salen would be kind of weird though, but you could use it. Siempre dejan. Dejan is to leave behind. So that's a good one, Alexis, because to leave can be to leave an object, or it could be to leave through the door, right? Dejar is to leave an object behind. So that's different. Ellos siempre abandonan sin terminar el trabajo. Abandonan is they abandon, but leave I would use se van or se marchan for this one, okay? But notice what you guys did. You used a preposition without, which is what? Which is sin, right? So you said, ellos siempre leave, se van. We make it reflexive when we want to change it from to go to leave. So to go is ir, to leave is irse. So se van sin preposition. And verbs after prepositions are always left in the infinitive. Sin terminar the job, el trabajo. But wait a second, Javi. Didn't you say work is trabajo? Work is trabajo. Job is trabajo. Trabajo is I work. It means a bunch of things, okay? El trabajo. So, once again, there is your infinitive. And we have two different subjects. That's why we're mentioning the two different subjects. We have ellos, se van, el trabajo, terminar. Okay? Yeah, it's reflexive because it changes the meaning. Exactly like Melanie's explaining, Tyler. When it's to go, just use ir. When it's to leave, use irse. And you have to change that se for whoever's doing the action. Siempre salen. You would have to conjugate salir because the ellos is doing it. Siempre salen sin terminar el trabajo. For me, salir, you know what salir means for me in that context? It would mean they always go out. Okay, so it would be a little bit different. Se largan. Yeah, eso es un poco más callejero. That's more of a street talk, Marimar. Se largan, largarse. Because largar is to elongate, which means that they're elongating the distance from where I am to where they're going. They're leaving me, right? Largarse. So it's more callejero. Tú es que eres una chica de la calle, Marimar. Eres una chica, ya eres madrileña prácticamente. I need to practice my English. Andy, here you will practice listening to English because I'm estoy explicando el castellano en English. Okay? So you will hear English, but I'm not going to teach English. So, you know, some people stay because they want to listen to the English, but I don't teach it. Will I in the future? Maybe. A lo mejor enseñaré en inglés en el futuro. I'm listening, bro. That's awesome, Andy. Y como entiendes castellano, pues sabes de lo que estoy hablando. ¿Cuándo esta clase de mañana? ¿Cuándo es la clase de mañana? La clase de mañana... Buena pregunta. Te lo voy a decir. Espera. Or, instead of espera, what could I have said? What could I have said instead of espera? Tell me. If you say this correctly, guys, you all get A's in participation. Nada esperar. Get rid of that a. Get rid of that a. Esperar. Esperar, chicos. Esperar. Good job. Good job. Excellent. All right. So, tomorrow's live is going to be early morning with our coffee in hand at 11:15 a.m. Eastern. 11:15 a.m. Eastern. Okay? So Eastern meaning East Coast in the United States. 11:15. ¿Por qué? But don't worry, Melanie. We are now going to be posting on the YouTube, on the YT. So, if you miss it, go to the YT. Okay? That's all you need. And I will be putting this one on the YT as well, okay? Alright guys, 40,000, pretty good. Thank you for doing the lessons. Meg, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for 160 of you being in here. Thank you for almost, I think we reached like 230 at one point. It was crazy. So, ¿qué hora es ahí? Ahora mismo son las 6 menos 7. You can find it in my bio, in my link tree, Ramirez. Okay? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everybody that came in. I am so glad that you found my channel. Thank you for all the follows. If you haven't followed yet, follow and make sure you hit that little whatever it is so that it tells you that I'm going live. As soon as I go live, it'll send an alert. Okay? Guys, you're awesome. Thank you for participating in class. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And now you guys can use infinitives in so many different ways, right? Alright, guys. Nos vemos mañana. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta luego, chicos. Take care, guys. Adiós. Adiós a todos. Marimar, cuídate. Bye-bye, everybody. Adiós. Ciao, ciao. Thank you, Daphne. Thank you for the 41K. You guys rock. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. A ti. A ti.